There we go. Click. And we should be live. I say we, I'm live. You might be live in chat, but I'm live on the microphone, spitting sick beats and stuff. These intros just get more nonsensical every single time I stream, but I guess that's just how it works. Well, hello, it's me again. Again, 50th episode of The Forge. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's been a year. I started this a year ago. Pretty much on the dot. Let me see. The Dune Forge was 1st of November. Well, not quite. We're not there yet, but almost a year. 50 episodes. This is absolute madness. Absolute madness. How are we all doing today? Today, Spotify decided not only to remind me that it was pre-installed when I bought my computer, I didn't know that, but also that I know Auto-Start app after new Windows update. Oh, well, that's nice. Ranting out of 10, because they say 4.5. Hey, Moodle, did you hear? You in the top 1% of Twitchers. More like in the top 2 if I would still stream more there. I wasn't in the top 1 for a time when I had around 70 viewers. But yeah, I saw that graph, and it's funny to see. Funny to see. There was some since Mando that I wasn't finding 3 plot holes every 10 seconds. Andor was, that's why I choose the kind of memey title, but it also was a surprise when we watched Andor. So that's fun stuff. Wow, YouTube notification actually popped up on time. Usually it's 30 to 90 minutes late. 30 to 90 minutes late? What is this, Twitch? I'm showing people underwater, damn it. Well, you can still do that. I'm not stopping you. So what's up? 50 is something kind of positive instead of She-Hulk or Power. Yeah, hey, Andor set a pretty good baseline for their show. It was very, very neat. I liked watching it a bunch. That's a surprise. A surprise for sure. I'm so tired. Then sleep, you nerd. Oh my god, hello. Oh my god, hello. Hello. Yeah, after I did the Forge yesterday, I just chillaxed on my couch and played my Playsy. I played some Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart, is that the name? Rift Apart, that is the name. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game. And it looks really good on my big old TV with the PlayStation. So that's pretty neat. I was just enjoying myself, wrapping myself in my blankie, just enjoying the warmth of the blankie, have something to drink, a beverage, a cold one, and just playing video with no care in the world. It was nice. No streaming the Ratchet and Clank. Nope. Yeah, I played games without you guys. You were not invited to my gaming session this time. I know it must be hard for you guys, but you know what? I need some alone time sometime, right? That's just how it is, okay? Okay, about Andor himself. I think Andor is actually the weakest character of the bunch so far. I do like to police people as well. I'm a big fan of them. I like how they react. I like how they move around. But I'll get into that as well. No, alone time. Only time for us. God damn it. Yeah, I meant to start this way earlier as well, but I kind of slept along. And then time was just against me. I'm just happy I did a watch of the first episode yesterday. So that took away a bit of pressure for me today. But yeah, there you go. Let me get the. Oh yeah. Stop being live all the time. Stop being not live all the time for Tia. You dingus. What the fuck, man? Do, 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 do. Let me have a look. See here. I'm like all over the place. I just woke up, had some food, had some kofefe, and then I just yeeted myself back into preparing a forge. So there we go. That's my brain right now. It's a bit sludgy. Upper range of mid. Yeah, I'm not ready to praise it all the way. I think there's some good character work in this, and we set a pretty decent baseline for the show. There's some good stuff character wise in here, but well, we have to see where it goes. I don't trust Disney, you know. They flumed on us way too much. That I'm just go like, this is awesome. It's like, no, there's some things where I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But I think we made a pretty good baseline, a pretty decent baseline where we can build upon. So have to see how it continues. I actually want to watch the next episode. It's not like, oh god, I have to watch Andor. It's like, oh, I want to see what happens. So yeah, should try to co-op mod soon. Need some Soulsborne in my life. Well, you won't be lucky. You won't be lucky this October. I can tell you that. I'm way too busy. Let's see. Yeah. I tried the PlayStation properly for the first time yesterday. I forgot they made these this feedback stuff on the shoulder buttons, and it feels like you actually like pull a trigger or something, like it stops you a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's the first time I think it's the first time I actually played a PlayStation 5 in my life, so that's pretty nifty. Moodle is so busy, doesn't even have time to kiss his homies goodnight. That's true. Console controller in general, it's pretty heavy. The PlayStation 5 controller is pretty heavy, but I guess that's because they have all these what do they call them? Feedback, haptic flim-flams or whatever in there. So you have like the vibration on different parts on the controller. It's kind of weird. It feels weird in the hand, but it's pretty cool. But like ergonomically, it feels pretty good. I like playing with it. Feels hefty. But it's pretty much a chunker as the console is itself. Yeah. I mean, nothing else happened to me since yesterday. I mean, it hasn't been so long. Hasn't been that long till I since I streamed. I can barely talk. I'm just going fucking insane. Obviously, you guys have EFAP to watch later on as well. I don't even know what they talk about. I know it's apparently it's nothing Andor or Rings of Power related. That's all I know. No idea what they do. I'm not gonna be on it. I think they have some guest. I don't know who it is. I'm basically out of the loop. I don't know. No She-Hulk. That's what I was wondering, if they do She-Hulk or Rings of Power, but Miyushi said they do something completely different today. But I was busy, so I didn't actually ask what it is. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a surprise for me, as it will be for you. Always turn vibration off, can't send it. Interesting. I don't mind it. I like it. Hello, Vlad, how you doing? They do an EFAB with one of the forges. Oh, sure, go nuts. Go nuts. Oh, Jesus. And now for something completely different. Been having hiccups for 2 entire days. Oh, Jesus. How does that even happen? That was interesting and maybe concerning. I don't know. They covered Bollywood films. They should cover RRR. Edge Runners is the... Oh, wait, I do super chats at the end. But I saw you say it earlier with the Edge Runners. I've heard good things about it, but I don't have time. But the thing is, I already have like things I can do after the Forges. I mean, I don't know if people even realize this is happening. Rick and Morty runs at the moment. So maybe I'll give that a look-see when all this slows down. I want to watch Top Gun. That's one I completely missed. Edge Runners is in the run. You see what I did there? So yeah, we will see. There's still so much we did, and we still missed so much. It's just going absolutely insane. Just absolute insanity. Whoever has hiccups, take a deep breath using your diaphragm to expand your belly, not your chest, and hold your breath for about 5 seconds, then breathe out. Hey, Metalcommander, Rector is live. I'll have your stream up while I go to the bathroom and the laundry room and to the store. It's transformative content. It is. Yeah, I heard a bunch of people say Top Gun Maverick is pretty fun stuff. I actually don't know if Mutually saw it at all. I have no idea. That's one that again went completely past me. Completely. But I'm sure it's gonna be fun in the bum. Right, so. I guess I'm just gonna jump right at it. Just going through the episodes. Let me get this flame going here. Boom. Morlana 1. Morlana Corporate Zone. Yeah. So we see our boy Andor just walking over a bridge with many, many lights. Which we joked about in the recording. It's like, that's a lot of lights. You could probably have like half the lights and it'd be fine. I don't know, it's just funny how many lights there were. But yeah, he basically goes for like a red light district, pretty much. There's like windows where you look at things like, hey, you wanna have some bug? But he's not paying any attention to that. He goes straight into the bar because he doesn't want to get wet, I guess. And he goes in there, he gets checked by the guys, like, yeah, you can go in, blah, blah, blah. And in there, in the bar, there's like two people watching at him, looking very angry. It's like, were you? She can make you feel real good and stuff. And doesn't really care about that. And then the bottom bitch comes out. I don't know. It's like, hey, what do you wanna have some good times? It's like, nah, I'm just looking for my sister. She's Canary. I heard someone from Canary works here, allegedly. And those other two dudes are making trouble. They're just like, hey, what you looking at, mate? We were here first. Why are you not serving us? It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah is coming straight for you. It's like, well, we don't want her. We want you. Blah, blah. They're out for trouble. They're troublemakers. They are those bullies, and that's basically it. They kind of bully him and just go like, fuck you looking at, you bean, blah, 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 blah. And then Andor goes outside, basically donezo with his business, finishes his little cum drink, whatever he drinks there. Goes outside and he's been followed by these two. And it's like, oh, those bastards. What are they up to? Are they gonna rob him? Turns out, those are sentry guards. It's like, oh, those guards were drinking on the job, you bastards. And it's like, hey, stop. Where are you from? We need to see some ID and all that stuff. And he's like, I have 300 credits in my coat pocket. And he's like, oh, that's exactly the amount you need to pay us for. And he tells him, well, get it out. I'm not looking for any trouble. But he kind of gets punched a little bit. He's like, oh, it's fucking annoying. And he's like, the other pocket. And then he headbutts him on the nose, the one behind him. He falls over. He punches the other one. Just kind of tackles him to the ground, takes his gun. And points the gun at him. It's like, you leave me alone. And yeah, he makes them, as someone in chat just said, he makes them close the distance. They're not just not shooting him. And Andor accidentally killed the one guard. And I mean, there's probably an argument here. It's like, oh, that's unfortunate. That's kind of silly. I mean, it's possible that it happens, but man, that must have been a very hefty headbutt where he put his nose through his brain or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that happened. It is possible, but you know, it's they could have done a little bit different because I was a bit confused that he died in the beginning. He got knocked on, fell face first in the water. Oh, that could be. Actually, let me have a look. See. Let me double check. That's something I didn't even think about. Do we see how he falls in the water? Maybe. Blah 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 blah. Nope. That's just the fight scene. No, he lies on the side. So I think they're implying that, I don't know, he broke his nose in a weird way so that it killed him. I don't know. It's kind of weird. The way this all starts is kind of weird. So he did the 5-point skull exploding brain technique. So yeah, he knows when I was brain. The freaking survivor guide himself to get out of being Disney Star Wars. Ah, I see. But yeah, and then the survivor kind of pleds with him, tells him that they're going together to him was an accident, and it's like, hey, we got in the fight, got out of hand, it was all an accident. And I like his reaction because he checks on his friendo guard, and is just kind of panicking. He's like, oh shit, he's dead. Fuck. Then he realizes, oh shit, I'm a witness now, and he's probably gonna kill me now. And when he realizes that, he looks at him, like, oh, we just go in together and just say like, here, this was like a fight. We were way too aggressive, and you defended yourself, and it got out of hand. Just a dumb accident. I'm sorry. Like, just we can get this sorted and everything. And then he just kills him. I think that was in the trailer as well, that he just shoots someone in the face. So yeah, this is basically how this whole thing starts. But yeah, this is we can already see that apparently they do seem to give a fuck about characterization. Like, this guy's checking on his friend before he realizes, oh shit, now I'm a witness. And we see this throughout the 3 episodes. The characters seem to act like actual human beings, which gives this a huge plus for a lot of things. But yeah, I think this is also where this whole, I think that's what they said. They do like this whole the whole black, white, gray area kind of dealio that's been going on. because he seems to be scamming people and even killing people. So not really the good guy necessarily, if you will, but the main protagonist. But yeah, then he then just flees and flies off to home, which I keep forgetting. Is it Ferrix? Ferrix? I think Ferrix was the name of the planet we're on. Hmm. So this proves that the AI that usually writes Disney Plus content is self-aware or a human wrote this. Yeah, so apparently from what I know, Andor was supposed to come out like long before everything else we've seen already. So we were kind of joking around that this was just kind of in the background. Nobody was paying attention to Andor, and they were just writing a story instead of just creating sludge and creating some characters. And every time like someone from Disney goes, you guys are right over there?" And I was like, yeah, we're fine. It's like, we have some lightsabers here. Do you want to put some lightsabers in there? Should we call Mark Hamill? It's like, no, we're good. We're just doing our thing. It's all fine. All right. I mean, we can. You want Boba Fett or something? No, we're good. It's fine. We're doing good. Pay no attention to the project behind the curtain. Yeah. Right, and then we see the robot for the first time, B2 something. I just realized I never actually paid attention to the full name, but they always call it B, call the thing B. So yeah, he's just having a sleep in like a wreckage of a ship where the robot goes in, and we see the first flashback to his to Cassian's childhood where. He is in some weird children tribe, I think. At least you never see any adults in that tribe, so kind of interesting what this tribe is. Like most of them are like the oldest one I've seen are probably like 25 at most, I would say. But yeah, they see a ship crashing onto the planet, and you see there's like some gas leakage, and it's crashing and everything. And this is the first flashback we get. And the stuttering robot talks to Andor, and we get to know that people came over to their home to bring supper to Marva. I always call her just Marv short because it's what I've written down, so I'm probably just not going to say Marva ever again. And her medicine, and people were wondering where he is. And Marva basically told them he's out with friends, ruining his health and reputation with friends of low places. And obviously Andor is now in like survival / flee mode after he killed these two people, and he asks B to create a lie for him. And basically tell B that he doesn't know where he is and that he has never seen him. Interesting little tidbit. We get to know that apparently creating a lie for a robot uses more energy. That doesn't really come in. That doesn't really do anything in the story. I don't know if that was just a random thing they put in, or if that's a thing that comes that will be revisited at some point. So I don't know. They just mentioned it, so I thought I'd just mention it too. So yeah, B wants him to come home with him, but says he has no time, he's late, and that makes the robot sad. But yeah, we just see that he cares, at least for the robot, and we see that he's been in his life for a long time. He gets like a little thing that's stuck in his side. And he also says that he is sorry. But yeah, I don't know what's the deal with the taking more energy to create a lie. I don't know. No idea. Could come up later, or could just a reference to B's disrepair. Yeah, he's pretty banged up. He's stuttering and everything, so that could be a thing. But we were wondering while we were watching it for the F-ups, if that is coming into place later on, but it doesn't. So yeah, Anders is walking through the city, and he goes to his friend Brasso. And it's like, yo, where have you been? And there's another pretty neat dialogue between them because they act like humans, and we get a lot of information as to their relationship. Because Brasso goes like, "Hey, where were you last night?" Brasso and Andor tells him, "No, wait, I just mixed it up." So Andor asks Brasso where he was last night, and he tells Andor that he went home, cleaned up a little bit, and then fell asleep. And Andor, who's currently looking for an alibi, says, "No, no, no. You came by me. You came by for me, but I wasn't there. You started to go home, but you found me on the hotel bridge. Decided we were thirsty and you wanted to go to Kavos, but that wouldn't be good because there's too many people there who own money." And then Brasso stops him and says, "You serious? Who's gonna asking?" But Andor just continues. So Kavos was out, but then you remember that you still had a bottle of Nog at home. We went there and drank ourselves to sleep. And makes sure to tell him, it's like, "Come on, man, I really need this." Brasso hesitates for a bit, and then he goes in and even tightens their alibi story, and goes ahead and says, "You insulted my choice of beverage, and I was offended by this. You failed to realize how offended I really was, and you just made your point even more loudly, even standing up. You then fell when I was helping you back into the chair, making sure we got the wound on his face covered. And you were gone when I woke up, and now you're here to apologize, and I accept your apology." And then just say, "Whatever this is what you're going to do after that, you gotta put your boots on and get to work. You look like a wreck." Good stuff. Good stuff. Get a lot out of this dialogue. They're good. They seem to be really pretty good friends. They look out for each other, and he goes in to even cover something that is on his face because he's got this wound going on. And then without even asking what's going on, it's like, you know what? If this is done, so go back to work. You look like shit. Yeah. Because they don't go like, "Hey, Brasso, my best friend from 17 years ago, do you remember when we were on Flim Flam 7 and ate a wombat's ballsack? Yeah, that was fun. Oh man, we are so good friends. By the way, I need an alibi." They give us all these information without blatantly puking them into our faces, and that's really nice. And yes, I'm still talking about a Star Wars show. I'm surprised as well. And this is followed up by another good dialogue thing, because we are introduced to Cyril. Cyril? Shit. Cyril. I think it's Cyril. They have a little bit of weird names, so I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Oh no, poor Wombat. It's metal when the crew visits. "Hey, yo, boys, did you bring that Wombat ball sacks?" Nice to see Metal not criticizing women for a change. Maybe that will change. But yeah, they just cut right to the chase, and we know what's up. Good stuff. But yeah, we go to Cyril, the deputy in the Corpo headquarter. And he has been up all night because of the death of these two colleagues of his. And because he knows that the boss man who's sitting there, like the chief is leaving this morning, he prepared the report and says that he wouldn't be up all night for those murders. He wouldn't be worthy of the uniform. Already established that he takes his job very seriously, and especially in this case where it involves the murder of some colleagues. And the boss man then asks him if he has modified his uniform. He says, "Yeah, I did some slight tailoring, some pockets and stuff on there." And it shows. He has like the neatest uniform of them all. He just put some pockets on there, and he takes his job very seriously. And the boss man, then the chief says, "Oh, I know one of those two guys. He was like a squad commander on 4, which is another reason why the deputy wanted to put immediate attention to this. And he points out that he fell far and he became just a simple sentry guard. And the chief tells him that he's lucky that guy didn't die years ago. He's one of the most unpleasant people I've ever met. And they point out that they don't really have a suspect, and all they have is the description: a human with dark features asking about a canary girl. And there's no witnesses, and it happens just outside the district. And the chief stops the deputy and tells him that he knows all this information because he's holding a report himself. Like, he interrupts him. He's like, yeah, I know. And then the deputy man goes, yeah. And then he goes like, yeah, I know. I know. Stop it. And he also says, the chief says it's a tough case and has bad timing. And the deputy goes on to say, it's like, with proper resources, I will be able to get this case solved. And he gets stopped once again. And the chief makes sure to tell him, it's like, and I don't just mean stop talking, just stop in general. This case is what he calls a regrettable misadventure. And he wants the deputy to conjure a suitable accident. And he is supposed to make sure that the accident happened on the outer sides of the district. I think he calls it the leisure zones or something. And then the deputy says, but they were murdered. And the chief goes on, like, they were killed in a fight. They were in a brothel we were not supposed to have. They went into the expensive one, which they are not supposed to afford. They were drinking Ravnok, which we're not supposed to allow. Both of them supposedly on the job, which is a dismissible offense. And they clearly annoyed a person with dark features and clearly choose the wrong person to annoy. I suspect they died rushing in to aid someone in distress. Nothing too heroic though, we don't need a parade. They died being helpful, something sad, but inspiring, in a mundane sort of way. Which is just a funny thing to say. And then this is all followed by silence. And deputy looks almost stricken. He's like, I don't understand. And chief is like, I'm on the way on an Imperial Command review, and we don't want to look bad, and we need the crime rates to be low. So make sure this accident report is on my table when I'm getting back. Goodbye. So yeah. Good stuff. I like this dialogue as well. I like this chief commander as well. It's he doesn't give any toss that these people died. He's just like, I'm about to do this review. I don't need this right now. Just Jesus. Need the crime rates low so they don't annoy us anymore. And yeah. You get to know the what is it? The values of the people pretty clearly. The deputy wants justice, as he later says as well. He just wants this justice to happen. We can't just let this slide. This is bullshit. And yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. He's a deputy man. He's not a bad person, I would say. He just wants the killers to be found and put to justice in the way he knows it to be. And he takes this very seriously. So, and then we see that Andor goes to his lady homie Bix. Seems like they've been knowing each other for a while, but apparently at least been through some shenanigans, really. And she has connections to some seller on another planet, and he has been keeping an untraceable NS9 Starpath unit, which has seal and everything still intact, which seems to be super duper valuable. Which I don't know anything about. This might mean anything to something. An NS9 Starpath unit. I'm sure somewhere in the deep lore that has been referenced. And And yeah, they basically just do a little bit back and forth. She wants him to sell it to him, but he's like, I didn't go for this to have a partner now. I just want this to be I want us to sell for big money. You know this guy. Can you get this guy? And she says, I'll see what I can do, basically. And we see Tim, which is Big's boyfriend, who looks sussy-wussy. And it's like, I think she's having an affair. That bitch. So this is like a little drama thing that's going on. Because he thinks these two have something with each other, but they're just doing business. As far as we can tell, we don't know the backstory between those two yet. Maybe this is something that still comes up, but as of now, they're just been doing business. Shady business, if you will. And that's basically it for that scene. Let me go right ahead. We get another flashback. Back to the tribe days again. We see the tribe is getting ready to check on that ship. And they put like war paint on and stuff. Just getting ready to check that shit out. And interesting part in these flashbacks is they have like their own language going on. But we don't get any subtitles. And the way they do it, they just show us what they do. And you do understand what is going on. Like, you don't even need the subtitles. It's just, we do the things, look what we do, and you see what is happening, and you're like, I got it. They're putting on gear, they're getting some, I don't know, war paint going on. They seem to get their weapon sticks, their sticky weapons, which we later get to know as a blow dart tubes. And yeah, we don't need the subtitles. Which is surprised that they didn't do that, because normally they don't trust their audience to figure that shit out for themselves. So yeah, that's kind of neat that they did it that way. Then we go back to the deputy, which I'm always happy to see because it's interesting how he behaves. Because he's standing in front of a door he's about to get in, and he looks very nervous. And I'm like, why is he so nervous? And then he goes in, and bam, he has his game face on, like he's in commander mode, if you will. He goes like, oh, checking these things, and he points at like a dot, and I'm actually not sure. I'm guessing those are like space routes or something, and he saw like a ship that is suspicious, and they have no information really on and stuff, and he wants the guy to scan it, and the guy's like, but that would take all night to scan it. And he's like, well, then get on it, or I'll get someone else to do it. You get to know that in this HQ they don't really want to do any work. They're just kind of yeah, whatever, it's just a normal day, I just want to get through the day and go home. They don't really have the need or the drive that the deputy man has. And yeah, they don't want to put in the heavy lifting, exactly. Then we have like a scene that's, I think it's basically just here for a little comedy. I didn't mind it, but I don't think it does anything for the story. It's like some random dude he did business with, and he was like, I want my money back. He's like, well, I put my money in somewhere else. And he has like this big alien standing behind him. He's like, is this your muscle? And at some point this alien's just like, no, he just told me to stand here. It's just, so it was like, really? You did that? He's like, I mean, yeah, come on. It's just kind of, I know, it's just funny. And then at some point he just leaves. Like, really? You just did that because he said this to you? And then Andor just leaves. And the friendo just looks at the alien. And yeah, it just goes like, what? It's just a small funny scene. I didn't mind it. It's kind of funny. Just lighthearted stuff. Not important at all for the story. But it's just, that alien was funny. He just told me to stand here. I liked it. I liked it. Way funnier than anything She-Hulk ever did. Yes, I will reference She-Hulk again. Let me just see. There was a message. So, turn out to. Oh, I did this already. Biggs is leaving to do the Collenheimers to the buyer man. But Tim is so sussy-wussy. He thinks she is so sussy-wussy that he tries to follow her, but at some point he bumps into some alien and he loses her. But all she does is go to some place like, hey, do you have Flim Flam Machine 1-2? And he's like, yeah, check in the bag of Flim Flam Station 5. And then she climbs up a tower where she put in like a comm device where she does some space Morse code, I think is what they're trying to show us. And just gets the buyer to get over her little partner man. Then we go back to Deputy Man. And he's like, hey, did you get some information? He's like, nah, we don't really got anything. He's like, well, you just, I don't know, do something. Like, get like a bulletin running and ask people for information. And they say, it's not really our zone. And they just don't really want to work at all. They all just don't really care. Even some of their colleagues died. And Deputy Man basically says, you put all these bulletins out. Maybe we get some stuff back, some hints, some evidence, whatever. Witnesses. Just fucking do it already. Someone died. And I want this to be dealt with. Because what you guys are doing is fucking dog shit. Flood every channel, exactly. So yeah, there's now a bulletin all over the place that asks for this person and hopes they get some hint. Now Andor is back at the ship he borrowed, saying that he forgot something, but he's not supposed to be here. And the guy basically tells him to fuck off. But Andor's like, oh, can I borrow the ship again tonight? And he's like, no, we're done with all the business. We will do no more business. And finish whatever you're doing and get the hell out of here. And throughout the whole episode, like everyone he like talks to, it feels like everyone is like on edge, looking out for themselves. You feel like this tension, like there's this thing brewing over every one of them. Like something could go wrong at every time, and then they get like attacked by those corpos and whatnot. So yeah, the mood in the city overall is quite tense between people. Oh yeah, and a friend here is likely burned a few times. That's a good point. That is a good point. And then we get another flashback scene where they leave for the ship, and we see some girl looking after Cassa, or Cassian, which is probably going to be his sister, that is looking for him leaving into the wild, checking for the shipperoonie. And, oh, yeah, that's episode 1. For some reason, I thought there was more. I went through this faster than I expected it to. But yeah, just a bit of setup. We got the story going. Nothing too crazy. We have some pretty good dialogue in here. The deputy character is awesome, and later on in the I think in the second episode, the sergeant will be introduced. He's probably my favorite character right now, the Sergeant Mosk. He's cool. I really like that guy. So yeah, we got this going, and yeah, there's gonna be some more good dialogue coming up in the second episode. So let me open up the next episode here. Let me see. I've been seeing some things where people have been saying you could have condensed the whole thing in like 30 minutes. like all 3 episodes or something. But I think we would lose a lot of good stuff. I was trying to figure out which one you could skip, maybe. I mean, you could skip the little comedy scene. You have in the beginning when he runs away. That scene is a bit long. Maybe you can cut this a little bit. But there was like no scene where I was like, ugh, get on with it. So I don't really know. I don't really know if I agree with that, because there's a lot of good dialogue throughout that we would lose if we would condense it so hard. I mean, I would agree. There's some panning shots and some walking where you could get rid of a couple of seconds, like 5 to 10 seconds. But I don't know. Personally, I didn't mind the pacing. Obviously, pacing is like pretty subjective thing. I mean, that's different for everyone. I think it's fine personally, but yeah, I think the first one is definitely a bit super long when the robot goes through there. I get they want to establish the city, I guess, but I think you could have cut it in half almost. It feels a bit. That's the one that I really felt being long, especially when I was rewatching it on my own. Obviously, when we were watching it for the EFABs, we were talking in those places, so it didn't feel that bad. But yeah, rewatching it on my own, it's like, okay, this feels a little bit long. But what I really like as well is we have different places that have a distinct color palette to them, and nothing looks this. The planets we see don't look like the same thing. We have some green. We have the dirty things in the city. We have the corporate environments, and it's not just all sand. So yeah, I grew up surrounded by the same thing, exactly. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to talk. I think someone mentioned in the chat already. How would this feel if we wouldn't be in the current media landscape that we are in right now? That's the thing. But the thing is, because they already have characters who talk to each other like human beings, already puts it so far above all the other dog shit that we have. It's like a 5 and a 6 feels like royalty in media. But yeah, as I said, I've been really enjoying the show, but I'm still cautious. You've thrown too much sand in my face and blinded me with poopy that I'm not ready to go around and tell everyone how great your show is. So yeah, we'll see how that goes out. What, Mel? You can't enjoy things. That's a part of the deal. I did not strike a deal with everyone, anyone. So yeah. Let's see. Episode numero dos. Which is... Oh yeah, we start with another Flushbook. Florschenborken. It wasn't as great on FNT. I mean, we really enjoyed it when we watched it all together. It was just nice to watch a thing and not immediately want to jump out of the window. But if you go back and watch it, it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We put a neat baseline in here, and we have there's like 1 or 2 things that I actually think are pretty great, especially in episode 3, where we have some I don't know. Most of the things I really like are in combination with the police people, because the way they behave, like, police people that know what they're doing. But we'll get there. But overall, it's just, you know. It's a baseline where I don't want to jump out of the window. Show about Andor is better than a show about Obi-Wan. Bravo, Disney. Yeah, it's not just making sure we're viewing objectively after Kenobi. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As how movies used to be honest. You used to leave the cinema not sad and satisfied, even if the movie was nothing special. Now we often leave disappointed. Andor is at least not that. Yeah. But Mootle, ACAB or something, I don't know. Wait, what? Is that going around? Are some crazy people saying that? I mean, why am I even asking? Of course, people are saying that. Anyway, so we start back with the tribe, and they make their way to the crash site of the ship. And oh yeah, I didn't mention in the first episode they were kind of looking kind of ugh at Casa because he seems to be going out with them for the first time, and he's still very young. And then we see like a huge a shot from a huge quarry that he's looking at, and I think the implication is that it's the first time he's seen that because he's been going out with them for the first time, so he sees the big quarry heimers. All crayons are brown. All crabs are big. All crabs are bigots. I don't know why that one got me, but that's hilarious. All crabs are bigots. That got all over me. That's great. I like that. I hope I'll remember that. That's really funny. But yeah, again, they establish all these things with the kids without saying a word. Back to Ferrix. In the present, we have I called him Bell Ringer Man. So I see. I don't. This is like not a huge issue for this show, but I'm just. What is this? What is this? So this guy every morning and every night he goes up here, this huge ass tower, and punches this thing with like these hammer flisms. And he goes like dung dung, and he is enjoying the piss out of it. He loves it. He's like, ooh, he's like making stances and moves, and yeah, he clearly loves ringing him that bell. Ceremonial. I don't know if it is ceremonial. It just seems like that starts the day. But maybe it is ceremonial. To be honest, I don't know. It's local culture, yeah. But yeah, he does like he's like standing like this. He goes like ha and punches it, and I'm like goes back into position, and it does it again. And hey man, he's loving it. All the power to him. I was just confused that they don't just have a bell with a string on it like we have these days. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just found it kind of funny. But yeah, he's ending the day currently. The sun doesn't rise until he does it. It's like, God damn it, the sunrise man is sick today. We not getting sunlight. But yeah, this is like he's ending the day here. But I don't know if it's episode 3 or later in this one. He starts up the day as well. But yeah, this is just a thing that happens. I just see people leaving for home, going to have some Drinkelheimers or whatever. We see that Bix is seeing the bulletin on her screen. And Tim, her boyfriend, is like, hey, you want to go to dinner? But apparently they have like this weird rule between each other where they agree to only have dinner once a week. But she says, oh, let's do something fun tomorrow. And ask him to close the shop for her because she has to do some errands again. I mean, we know it's for the cell stuff, for the Starship part, but he thinks she's cheating on him still. I don't know what this weird rule is. I was really weirded out, but it's like, hey, you want a dinner? Didn't we agree to only do dinner once a week? It's like, huh? And it doesn't sound like he's saying, like, let's go out for dinner. It's just like, let's have dinner, because you can just cook dinner at home, right? Can't afford a date every night. See, you can just cook at home and eat together. I don't, it has to be going out for dinner, right? If it's on a budget or something. But yeah, you just say it's like, oh, we agreed to only have dinner once a night. I don't know. It's just weird how they said it. Maybe I'm just confused. I'm assuming it was a date. I mean, that's the most logical thing to take out of this. So I probably agree with that. Anyway, he's still suspicious of her and checks the screen and sees the bulletin from the corpos. Pre-More authority seeking a Canary male resident of Ferrix for questioning. Citizens with any information, please contact the Preox Molana Security HQ without delay. And he's like, ooh, maybe I know a Canary person, I think. And we see that Andor is going home. He's going home to his place, and Marva, which is the lady, and also where the robot is. So Andor is coming home, presumably. At this time, we presume this is like his mother or mother figure. We later get to know that she was the one who saved him from the planet. And he tells her that the wound on his cheek, oh, I helped a friend and I tripped over a cable. And I need to wash myself. And he also tells her that he walked into a Brasso last night and had a lot to talk about, and all that good stuff. And everything he had to do was east, so he took all day to get back here. And when he says that he's about to wash himself, she just says, "Read it, B." And then the droid reads the bulletin message to them, and she immediately asks, "Who knows? Who knows? Who have we told?" It's like, told what? That you were born in Canary. And then he asks, don't you even want to know what happened? And she says, we will get to that. Which is pretty cool, because she wants to make sure if like they're in immediate danger, or if he's in danger, if they're going to be okay after what has already happened. And also establishing that they will talk about what happened when they sorted out the thing that came before the thing. And yeah, we have the other thing to worry about now. And then he says that officially he told no one. But people, sure, I told friends and stuff, but I didn't really keep track of how many. And then she points out that on all official docs, she always said that you were from Fest, and also all the people I told are already dead. And Andor calls bullshit, and it's like, well, what about these other people? And he names like a couple of names. And then she's like, oh, come on, those are family. And he's like, if we're making a list, we are making a list. Which, like, yeah, good point. And she says she's worried about all the women he's talking to. And then B says, Bix. And he yells, Bix has nothing to do with this. And then she yells, well, then who told these Pre-More bastards about Canary? And he says that, well, that would have been me. And I think he was referring to him just asking around for his sister. Because that's, if you remember the first episode, he was looking for a Canary lady and his sister. So this is how they were made aware of it. And then B is telling Cassian that Bix tried to call, but the comms failed, and then he runs out of energy and needs to recharge. Yeah, and while he's trying to get the info from B before he shuts down for the night, Marv is trying to ask why he did that. And they're like talking over each other at some point. And just yells, "Wait!" Like he stops her. It feels like there's like an actual interaction going on, which just feels normal. Like they're all like in in high pressure, heated mode and just talking over each other, and one of them goes like, "Stop it! Just wait. Let me figure this out," because he needs he needs to talk to Bix with the because of the thing he needs to sell, the starship part. And yeah, after he's done with the with B shutting down, Marv wanders and asks Cassian, "What have you done?" He takes a heavy breath and only says, I messed up. Booba? Ooh. But yeah, Cassian then goes to meet with Biggs in a bar. Just for further info on the part selling. And she asks what has been happening. And he says he was shaken down. I wasn't looking for a fight and went too far. He also says to forget what I said this morning, or for us in the last episode. I will sell the part for you. I just need enough to get out of the planet for now. And Biggs tells him, like, Salah's already on the way. So he's going to be here tomorrow. Don't worry. And then he kind of grabs her hand and says, thank you. I won't forget this. But Tim, that rascal, he followed Biggs again. He's at the bar and is looking at them, just sees the hand on his girlfriend's hand. It's like, just fucking piece of shit. He empties his drink and storms out of the bar. And right after, she pushes like Cassian's hand away. It's like, it's time you go. It's like, yeah, you're right. And then see Tim is drinking in frustration, makes his way to a space telephone booth, and sends information to the Corpo guards. He's snitching on Andor. What a bastard. What authority simp, that Tim guy. Fuck you, Tim. Snitches get stitches. He's gonna die, by the way. Sassy Timmy. Snitches get beat up. Chivato. So yeah. He's just a simp in general. That's why he dies. And then we go to the corporate HQ, and they see that they received the message, and look at that. It's like, oh, this is like, we checked the database. It's like this guy, Andor Cassian Andor. He's from Fest, and there doesn't seem to be anything about Kenari. They pull up a picture, and we also see that they brought in the brother lady from the first episode, presumably for questioning. Can I just mention that they are already doing a better job at gathering evidence and preparing for something than they do in this law show I talk about every week? Remember She-Hulk, the thing that's supposed to be attorney at law? That's things she should kind of do. They do that in like a couple of seconds where they just run the database check. That's like info she could use if she would request them. But, you know, I'm just saying. It's just... Anyway. Now we see that Tim is at home. He's drinking alone. She goes, Lush, I thought it was a comedy. It's any of those. And then Biggs is at home. He's drinking. He's alone. Contemplating his choice, maybe. I don't know. But Biggs is there. And she has come to have sexy times. How dare you, Disney? That's not PG. Get this out of here. That's not PG. I can't show that to my children. So yeah, they just have sexy times. That's all this is. And finally, best character. We get introduced to the big boy, Sergeant Linus Mosk. What a Chad man. What a Chad boy. He was brought here by Cyril, and he apologized to get him in here at such short notice at night. And the sergeant said, "It's no worries. It's an honor. I got the briefing underway here, and I'm fully on board. Killing of officers, colleagues, everything else. Then full force would be neglecting your work. A dereliction of duty at the minimum." And Sarah's excited, is like, exactly. He's obviously really happy to finally have someone here who gives a shit. And he goes like, how many people should we send? And Sergeant tells him 12, just to be prudent. He also tells him that he should come with them. It's nothing better than putting an officer on the line. It's a good morale boost. And he also tells Cyril that they had been soft on these affiliate planets for too long, and we have to remind ourselves that we're the first line of defense for the Empire. And if you want to keep the knife sharp, you have to use it. I was like, damn, what a legend. It's like immediately you know it's like Mosk is like on the same mindset as Cyril, but he's like the executioner part. He's out on the field taking action as much as he can, while Cyril is this with the same mindset, but he's more like in the office environment, and yeah, good stuff. He's like a very proud soldier. He's like, yeah, executioner, execute people. No, wait, that's not a thing. But yeah, good stuff. I love Mosk. He's great. And both of their characters will be reinforced over time when we see them in action. And then we get another scene without dialogue where Marv is nervous and probably worrying about Cassian. Cassian is going to the ship we saw him sleep in the first episode. Just checking if the starship part is still around and fine, I guess. Which is followed up by another flashback Haruni where we see them plan the approach to the ship and start making their way there. Again, all without dialogue. We understand. This doesn't everything, but it's there you can see. You can see it's like you go this way, that way, we go here. But yeah. Then we got a longer shot with the buyer man approaching the planet. Again, all without dialogue. Just like some of those scenes that feel a bit long. Because we have the thing without dialogue for a couple of minutes, for like 2 minutes. Then we get the flashback. Then we get Luthen. That's his name. The buyer is Luthen. He's just arriving at the planet, checking it out, and then making his way there. And then we got the bell ring man. He's starting the day up again. So yeah, this is maybe one of those other scenes that could be a little bit slower. Elon Musk already sounds like a Star Wars name. That's true. That's true. Ping up something, communicate. Wait, where am I? Wait, did I skip something? Hang on. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I just didn't write this down. Biggs is waking up. And we get to see some legs. We almost get a cheek, boys. Look at this. We get almost. Look at this. This is not PG Star Wars. What are you doing? That's a naked leg. How dare you? That's like it's almost a cheek. Seething. How can you do this? Think about the children. Keep it up, I'm almost there. Thigh. No. Best part of the show. But yeah, this is waking up. Tim is just looking at her or something. He's like, you have some calf, which is, I guess, coffee. And she's like, can you open the shop? I need to do some more errands, blah, 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 blah. And he's suspicious. Andor picks up some comms that he needs so he can tell B later on when he gets the money where he puts it, because as soon as he gets the money, he gets off the planet immediately. Because he's on tight timings, because he doesn't know if people are already going after him or not. Marva is looking through her house, sees the blow dart stickeroonie that I assume Cass had with him. We see another flashback where they approach the ship, and the leader girl of the team is going through the middle, while the other ones are waiting like on the sides. And like most of the kids just stay back looking while the leader girl goes in the middle, and then she like kind of gets attacked from behind, which it's just weird. The guy gets up, and none of the children say anything. I think there's like an argument to be made here that the kids should have reacted, at least to some degree, because he like got up and turned to her and then shoot her in the back, and none of the kids reacted at all. Like they were like, look out, look out, look out. They were just looking. So I feel like they could have at least tried to save her. They could have easily made them react, and she's like, oh shit, and then turn around. Maybe make those kids not look like they don't care. Or maybe they were confused because they never seen a blaster before. But then again, they should have just reacted anything. Could have used the darts. Yeah, could have used the darts immediately. But yeah, the girl gets shot, and then the guy gets. they make him a pin cushion, and yeah, fire blow darts at him until he dies. And they carry away the leader girl, and Castle looks back and just clenches his fist like, oh, those blasted whatever they are. Pretty sure it's a Republic cruiser or something, but he's angry at the cruiser. But yeah, they could have just used the darts immediately, I guess. It's kind of weird. They maybe should have reacted at all. Then Cassian wants to book a flight off the planet. It's like, I want to go today and fast. And just basically just barters with the guy. And we get some nice exposition. Because everyone is like kind of wondering, like, who are these Kenari? I never heard of them. And he's talking to his alien colleague. It's like, yeah, no, I never heard of them as well. I'm looking. Do you know anyone from Kenari? He asks Andor. It's like, no, what's that? It's like, see, he doesn't know either. And he's like looking it up. It's like Kenari, from planet Flim Flam. I forgot the planet Kenari, obviously. An abandoned Imperial mining colony marked as toxic and what and all. So he's reading it out to his colleague because he's also wondering who they are. So yeah, it's not the worst way to establish this info. I like it, and also the way the guy, the guy talks. The way the guy talks feels like a normal person. He's like, yeah, I don't know what they are. It seems like you would meet someone like that in an actual like service shop or something. He's I like his behavior. He acts like a normal person. It's like a throughout when people talk in the show, they just feel like normal people. Even though we already have the info because we have seen the abandoned mine, right? Yeah, we know the mine is abandoned, but I guess now we know that it's like Imperial abandoned or something. So just some extra info on top. But yeah, not really that important again, to be honest. Probably could have cut this part as well. It's not super important. Just, I guess I just put it in there, and then because after that they barter for a price, and it's like 900, and it's like, oh, tell me a real number. It's like, well, you want decency and fast. That's a costly combination. I think at the end they agree on like 500 or something. So yeah. Then we see more police stuff. Fucking love the police stuff, so good. We saw big boy McChatterston Mosk giving his people a sit rep or a briefing rather. Oh god. Oh, it's all over. This is where the media gets me. Oh no, help. Okay. Good bong it, Moodle. So yeah, on the way to Ferrix, we see them in their corpo police ship. Mosk briefing the 12 soldiers they take with them, and he tells them like what to do. It's really neat because you get the feeling they actually know what they feel structured and strategic. Because he goes like, what was it? West and East team position accordingly for a pincer movement when the suspect tries to flee, and he shows him a photo and says, "This is a photo of the subject, not the news, but it's the best we got." And also points out like he might not look like he can like much, but be aware that 2 of our men made the same mistake and are now dead. Just making sure those people are on their toes. It's like, oh man, I think these people are already much more threatening than stormtroopers have been since Disney got got Star Wars. It's yeah. he then tells Cyril to take over and to do a speech. And he does like a small speech. And it's really interesting because the wording itself is not bad. It's like, justice is important and this and that. He's very awkward in his delivery because he's never been in this situation. So his delivery is really bad, like in character. And you can see the soldiers' faces that are like kind of cringing. And even the sergeant is like, so he struggles through it. And there's like a moment of silence, and the sergeant starts like clapping. Make the others clap too, like, I don't know, save the mood, if you will. It's like, maybe don't do that ever again. So yeah, just further establishes Cyril is not really being that good at this stuff, especially when it's out of the field. He's almost socially awkward. But yeah, good old Lieutenant Sergeant Chungus doing the thing. And then the buyer makes his way to the city with a shuttle bus, which is quite like a small shuttle, like a flying shuttle that looks like a bus. I kind of like the design, it's pretty fun. And some Randy talks to him. I don't remember anything important from this conversation, so I think this is just kind of here where he talks to him. Chat, maybe you can remind me, because I just didn't write anything down for this conversation. I just found it a waste of time. Unless I missed anything important twice. But I think he's just kind of talking about the planet or something. But I listened to it twice and it's like, I don't think there's anything here that I need. I don't know. Just the dealer here on the bus and skip all that came before. I remember it's the guy from the Naughty's Thunderbirds film. Yeah. All I remember is, why is this Randy talking to me? Just leave me alone. So yeah, that's episode 3. Again, some good dialogue stuff and some setup, but nothing super great. I mean, it's just enjoyable. I've been enjoying the show, as I said, but I don't even know why this last part is in here. Just a happy old man chatting on the bus. Yeah, that's what I got. Nothing really important. Yeah. Metal said he loved the police stuff, and what in the world gave him lung cancer? Oh no. So yeah, that's episode 2. Yeah, but on a rewatch you can tell it's like it's moving along pretty nicely. But it's not super much to really talk about. It's just enjoyable. Just want to make that clear. It's really enjoyable to watch. I like the planets they're on. I like the people that talk to each other. But we still have to see what's going on later on in the season. Because as I said, it's a pretty neat baseline we have. But yeah, let's go through episode 3, which I thought was, I think, the weakest one of the bunch, if I remember correctly. Because there's just a lot of it's just basically the action episode, if you will. Sup, Swole? Objectively old man best character, but I don't even know what he said. How dare you? Sergeant Chungus is right there, you bastard. Alright. That's why dummies are saying it's the only good episode. 3's the only good episode? Okay. I think 3 has my favorite part in it, but of the episodes, but overall the other ones are probably better. Where's my notes? There's like just one part in there that I think is really good. Isn't the hotel is good or something? You mentioned Tesco, I think. Oh, nice. I haven't seen the show, and I love old men. That's fair. But yeah, we start with another flashback. Rooney. Jesus. We see that young Casting is checking out the ship, and he just kind of looks through it, and sees himself in the mirror, is annoyed or something, and then just starts trashing the consoles because he's angry at the ship or something. We see that Cassian goes to Bresso to tell him that he's going to be gone today as soon as he sold the part, and lets him know that he will leave what he owes him with Marv. And Bresso asks him where he will be, and he tells him it's better if you not know, and says that he will be back. I will find a way to come back. Just nice that he cares. That we show that he cares about his friend. It's like, yeah, I just want to let you know that I'm probably going to be gone, and I don't know when I'll be back, so I just wanted to let you know. Just nice after we established that they seem to be pretty good friends. The buyer arrives in the bus. Let me show you guys the bus. I really like. There's something about this design for like a future space bus. I don't know. I just kind of like this. It looks so familiar because it just looks like a bus with engines on it. I don't know. I just really like the design of that. I really like the space bus. Is that the Space AIDS bus? No, there's a meme I haven't used in a while. Looks like a train carriage. Yeah. Now this is public transit. Yeah. So yeah, I quite enjoy that design. I like Luthen's ship design as well. That ship looks cool. We see it at the end. The buyer now he just arrives. He talks to that old man again, and he just meets up with Biggs. It's just this meetup where she starts walking next to him, and she tells her that there has been a complication, and she missed the window to call back, and also informs him that there was a bulletin about Cassian. Luthen says that shouldn't be a problem. He's not mentioned by name, and all his records say he's from Fest. And when asked if he has been identified, she says that she doesn't think many people know him, and tells him that he's waiting in lot number 9 or something. And he asks if he can be trusted, and she says that he will be there, and then they're separate again. And that's that. I was thinking about this while reading this back. She tells her there has been complications, and she missed a window to call back. I actually don't know what she's referring to here. I only now think of this. I don't know which call window she mean. Did she mean to call him back at some point? But then he wouldn't be here, I guess. Maybe a call back to Cassian? But they did meet up, and he did get to know where he needs to go. So yeah, I'm actually not quite sure what she refers to here, what callback window. Yeah, if anyone got ideas in chat, let me know, because I'm actually not quite sure what she's referring to here. But yeah, we see the corpos arrive, because the situation has changed since she first asked him to come. Maybe. So a callback window where she can inform him about the situation, maybe? Yeah. Oh. Shoot him. Oh yeah, we see the corpos arrive, and they shoot themselves down in those shuttles. The little drop ships. Yeah, drop ships probably the better thing to say. We get another flashback. See that Marv is on the Canary planet while scrapping a ship with a colleague. And they find Cassian here, who's punching the consoles and stuff. We also see the pretty shiny bee unit that interestingly says that... not interestingly, says that there's a Republic ship arriving. And... yeah, she basically makes her mind up that she's gonna save Cassian here to get him off this planet. We gotta be pretty fast with this episode. There's a lot of things just happening, getting everything in place to get to the the big scene at the end. I realized that in my notes. I just went through this episode pretty quickly. But don't mind that, because we get police stuff, and this is good again. This is really good again. So the corporal landing party, well, they land, and they spread throughout the city, and we hear that they land in different positions. They talk on the radio, and it's like, North team, where are you? In position. East team, need 3 minutes to LZ, and all that stuff. Like, it feels like a proper procedure they're doing. Like, they're on radio communication all the time, and they talk to each other, tell each other where they are. It's just nice. It feels like there was thought put into this, and they're not just arriving and just start walking wherever. Also, I think that was here. I meant to mention this. You see that all the police people just kind of walking, not giving a shit about the other people. And then you see Cyril. He gets looked at by one of the civilians, right? You see here. He's kind of looking at them. The other one don't even give a shit. And he just kind of looks forward, and he gets like kind of nervous and looks back at him again. It's like, why is he looking at me? So yeah, he's again not used to this experience at all. And then some workers say that they haven't seen any blues in a while, and say that they're apparently hunting someone. Andor is waiting in the lot already. And we get the next part of the flashback, basically where Marv tranquilizes Casson and gets him to their ship. And Marv decides... No, wait. The team with Mosk and Cyril arrive at Marv's place and take it apart, looking for Andor because they have a warrant. And then they're about to do something with B, and oh no, how luck will it have? Andor talks to B over the comms right at that point in time, which is pretty lame. Telling B they should tell Marv he's sorry and keep the heat on as well. And we then see Mosk using a little gadget thing that apparently is able to track comms. And knows that he's east-northeast. Like east-northeast, around that place. So they gotta be careful with that. They just showed us something that is pretty useful to remember in the future. You just established a really useful tool that they should have on their hands at every time, unless you write it out of the scene. So yeah, fucking unlucky this happened this way. Talk to him right at a time. So yeah, it's kind of. So yeah, we have an extremely valuable tool established here. We need to. They should really need to use that in the future if they ever use these kind of comms again. Yeah, because at the time I thought it might, when I first watched, like, oh, this might be a trap. He's just kind of diverting them to somewhere else, but it isn't, so it's kind of lame. So yeah. Oh yeah, I should probably mention the reason she even takes him with him is because the Republic ship is on the way, and they killed one of the Republic people that she saw outside. He's like, oh shit, they're probably gonna kill him if they arrive because there's this dead Republic guy. So this is this is her reasoning why she even took him. I just realized the way I said it, it's just like, oh, she just saw him and took him with her as a slave or something. So yeah, I thought I'll mention that. Anyway, now we see that Luthen arrives at the lot, and they have some pretty neat dialogue as well. The old one. Oh yeah, Luthen arrives at the lot. The team leaves for the place they tracked down. And neat little detail. People are upset and yelling at the corpus that they just did this to just an old woman. And we know they have like a 10-minute walk to the place, and the other team is already on the way to secure the site. Again, still on the radio. And then Luther and Andor talk about selling of the Starpath unit, which is like all sealed and stuff. Andor says, about 40,000 credits for it. And Luther just kind of, 40,000 credits. Andor mentions it's cheap considering all the things you could do with it. And then it's just a pretty good back and forth of questions like, do I know that it works? And it's like, it's sealed. If I plug it in, the value drops. So you could be scamming me. Has Bix ever screwed you over? What if it doesn't work? Well, you know where I live. So if I could come back if I am dissatisfied. So I could come back if I am dissatisfied. And you're planning on sticking around, are you? They're just super sus against each other. It's kind of funny. Because they both raise concerns that are fair in their positions. And we see the one guy, some rando, runs to Big's telling Cassian is being looked for, and she thinks someone might have ratted him out. And she's like, I'm going to have to search for him. And Tim says, don't worry, he can look after himself. But he doesn't even know who they're talking about. Or does he? She realizes that he knows. And he asks him, did I ever tell you that Andor is from Kenari? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, well, I know. I remember I told you this. Can't believe you've done this. And then she goes off to find Cassian. And we go back to Andor and Luthen, where he shows him the box. And it's like, how did you get this anyway? And Andor just says, doesn't matter, does it? Luthen says, well, you're either a spy, a frontman for the one I really want to talk to, or the thing itself. Andor says, well, for me it's simple. Either you got the money or you don't. And he shows him the money, and he tells him, I will give you an extra 1,000 if you tell me how you got it. Because I know you bribe people so you can scrap before them, but this part is different. There's no way they would let this one slide. And Andor just like, 1,000? He says, deal. When Cassian realizes he's serious, you basically get the trailer lines. He's like, well, I just got there, pretended like I belong. All it needed was an Imperial uniform and Imperial toolkit. They can't imagine it, someone like them walking their floor, spitting in their food. They're so fat and satisfied it's not even something they consider. And Luthen says that the arrogance is remarkable. They don't even think about us. Andor says, what do you mean us? I don't even know you. Luthen goes on that the days they will think and talk like that will be over. They won't be walking the streets like this anymore, pushing through the crowds and whatnot. And he says, I know all about you, Andor. And Cassian tells him they need to keep moving. Like, you don't want to get caught with the box. And Luthen points out, yeah, probably publicly hang me. Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't it? That's what they did to your father, right? And Cassian gets a gun out and asks him who he is. Luthen says, well, the correct question would be, how much time do we have to get out of here? And unlike you, get out of here. And unlike you told me, you won't be staying around. It would be a waste of time to let them have you and waste your talents. And then ask him, don't you want to fight those bastards for real? And all of this while he's having a gun shoved in his face. And, yeah, just good dialogue. I liked it. Very enjoyable. Very nice. Very nice. Where was I? Now we see the Corpo team go through the streets, and all the civvies on the planet starts shutting their doors and closing shutters and stuff. And then they get like a stick and a metallic fleam and clank it on there, basically alerting everyone in the neighborhoods that the corpos are here and trying to do some shenanigans. And it's like another small little character detail again, where Cyril is nervous about this, and Mosk's just like, don't worry, just bluff and bluster. Easy for me to say. Then we go back to the two, and Andor asks a good question, because he's like, why did you come here if you knew they were coming for me? And Luthen tells him that coming by special people is hard, so it's worth the risk. And we see that he has something in his code beeping, showing him that they're being tracked or something. Actually, I'm not sure what this thing does, but he's like, do we have a comm device? He's like, give it to me. He gives it to him, and then he crushes it. He's like, I'm your only decent bet to get out of here. And they hear like a clank in the distance in the building. And the coppers are already here. They are surrounded. So yeah, shit's about to hit the fan. Where was I? Oh yeah, Bix is running around and sees some of the corpos. And then she turns around, runs the other way, and one of them stops her because he somehow figures she's scared of them and is not running home. I don't know why they did that. It feels like they have very different priorities right now. So I don't know why they went after her to shackle her down. I guess we need her for drama in a bit. But I don't know why they would care. Everyone is running around crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Bizarre. Mosk is on the radio telling the other team to wait as they're almost there, and tells the deputy that they have him pinned down. Luthen asks how he was supposed to get out of here, and Andor tells him that, well, my plan is gone. We're surrounded now. I was like, oh, what's this thing, man? Where does this lead? It's like, yeah, it leads us to outside, but it's a long way around. So we go there and try to grab a speeder. And also he put some slap charges on the doors and explodes them. I don't know, as a distraction, one of the soldiers falls in there. And this makes things on the ceiling starting to fall down. So during the recording, we called this the chain room. There's like machine parts on the ceiling, and they're stored there. I have no idea what this is. Maybe it's machine parts that have to be lifted from the top down into the machine, and they just decided to store them on the ceiling on chains everywhere. I don't know. It's a thing, and the point is they start falling down great hazards throughout this firefight that happens. I think Charlie liked Andor have been saying some messed up stuff about illegal immigrants. I guess they saw that part of the script. Ship engines, yeah, something like that, yeah. The firefight itself is okay. I mean, they already do better because everyone takes cover and the shots don't seem to be all over the place. They seem pretty well aimed. And also the reason they don't just get out instantly after the explosion is Cassian really wants to get that box, even though Luthen tells him to forget about it. And in the end, they just leave it there. I don't know if that's going to get picked up for something, but I don't know. I don't know why he would still be after this, because he's not going to sell it to him anymore. He's just fucking off with him with the ship. Unless this thing is going to be useful at some point else. They definitely don't have it at the end. It gets buried below these things. So maybe someone's going to pick that up in another episode. Then we get another cool thing for Sergeant Mosk. I just want to show with Mosk. He's a good leader, officer, sergeant man. Because as soon as he hears that his team is under heavy fire, they all start sprinting towards the lot they are supposed to do. Urgency. Remember that? Remember all that urgency during Multiverse of Madness that they didn't have? They put it in here, I guess. Because they just start sprinting. Because their team is in danger. So, yeah, good stuff. Then it's just more trying to get the box and stuff, falling down from the ceiling. Luthen flanks one of the guys, and I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Notably, Andor gets hit in the chest, but he seems to be wearing some armor plate. And because he doesn't really react to the shot, so I think he has some armor stuff going on, even though I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't really look like he has one. He gets shot, but he doesn't really react to it. So I assume he has armor, but I can't tell you 100%. It just could be a flume, to be honest. So could be a chair. Okay. Anyway, he does not get the box, and they flee. They flee. The whole chain room collapses. It doesn't. Not the building collapses, but the machine parts all become loose because too many chains were broken or something. The North team, which has Biggs shackled, is about to move out when Tim arrives. And he's angry that this is happening to Biggs. Like, oh, she's bleeding, need to help her. And then she starts running towards the guys who are holding weapons up to him and telling them to stop. And then this one guy just straight up shoots him and kills him instantly. Really fucking lame. Why would you do it so lame? There's like no scuffle, nothing. Tim runs towards them like a fucking idiot, even though multiple people have guns pointed at him. And then also that one guy just shoots this clearly unarmed guy immediately. And all because they arrested her for some reason, because she was running away. So he's dead now, so Sag. She's getting randomly arrested, exactly, and then he just happens to run into her here and just gets shot. It's like, oh, that's fun. Anyway, back to Mosk. Mosk is cool. Mosk part. Team gets a radio call that they have lost a couple of men, and also tell them that there's two of them. We fought two of them. It's like, oh shit, what's that? And then Sarah says, what are we doing? Is he going to stand here? He's like, point taken. And they decide to form an ambush position and start to ambush them when they come through. Again, tactics, strategy. Making sure the other team keeps the pressure on so they actually get through here. It's, yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I just like that they react like police people, like actual trained people. It's nice. Anyway, Cyril goes into a building for cover and almost kills a random because he's so nervous about the situation. Is really trigger happy. So I believe that he would just fucking do that. Then we see Brasso moving away from one of the landing shuttles that he seems to have been tinkering with. And Martha sets some guards in their place. She tells him that the noise that people make is getting to you, isn't it? And kind of riles the guards people up. She says sound stops when you really start to fret. I really like this part. This is like my favorite part, maybe of all the 3 episodes where this all happens. Like the police, the corporate people go into position. You hear all this chatter on the radio. It's kind of busy. Marv is talking to the guards, telling them it gets even more nerve-wracking as soon as the sound stops. And then you see like the cutting between Mosk and Cyril, showing how differently they behave in the field. Like, because Mosk is just alert, having a sip of water and everything. It's just taking his shit seriously. And you see Cyril, he's like almost hyperventilating. He's like, oh shit, he can barely hold himself together. All while you hear the clanking of the civvies in the background. Like everything feels super tense. And then suddenly no music, no clanking, nothing, and everyone's just looking, waiting for something to happen. And as I said, Cyrus almost hyperventilating. I'm totally keeping his composure. Moss seems to be on guard. It's like super tense. I really like how they did this. It's really neat. I really enjoyed it. It's really cool. It's really well done. And then Cyril gets caught by Andor, and they make him drop his weapon and ask him, how many are there of you? And he says, I don't know. And then you hear Luthen say in the background, kill him. And that scares the piss out of Cyril. He goes like, ugh. And the actor does actually a great job of portraying how fucking scared he is. Like, he looks up to Andor, sees he has like a gun right to his face, and he just looks away. He can't even look at it. He's like, oh fuck. And then he immediately tells him, oh yeah, it was like 12 soldiers and 2 officers. And then they just kind of drag him away and tie him up in the back. So yeah, it's just pretty nice. I really like that part. The deputy guy, man. I hope we get. I'm sure we get even more of them in the future. I really like this, like the dynamic of all these people, the police people. It's nice. It's really good. They don't make them look like absolute buffoons, which is really important. It was just funny to think about. If they would have taken Mosk, he would probably not told him shit and even died before he ratted out his people. Just interesting to think about. So yeah. Oh shit, where was I? Oh yeah, the one guy who was ordered to go back to the pod after killing Tim. He starts flying, and we see that Brasso attached like a big metal machine part onto the dropship, and makes the guy basically crash. Just kind of wobbles him around and makes him crash in the end. That confuses the people that took station. And we see that Andor and Luthen find a speeder in a car, and they prep the car with explosives and let it go out. A soldier finds the taped up Cyril and he says, "This is them in the car, don't let him get away." And all the positioned soldiers start blasting the ever-living shit out of that car. And they stop it, make it turn over. It's good to see that blasts have effect on normal cars. It just kind of destroys them. We do get the shot where they only dodge like in the last second before getting hit by the car. Like, would have been nice to see them just kind of slowly move out of the way instead of just waiting until the last second before it flips over in front of their face. And that would have been nicer, but you know, we gotta have that cool shots, I guess. And yeah, they almost celebrate because like, yeah, we got them. But then yeah, they hear the speeder start and they explode. Luthen explodes the car, probably killing or at least heavily injuring some of the soldiers, and they are off. Yeah, if they wouldn't have finished the car, they would have been the big dead. Absolutely. So yeah, and we get we're now at the end here. We see we get a close up on Cyril, who looks very nervous, probably realizing the impact and repercussions this thing he just here led is gonna have for him and I don't know, for people in general. Again, reaction of Mosk being worried about his soldiers it's just so great. He sees the thing explode. He's like, "Oh shit!" And he just runs down immediately, checks on them. He's radioing for evac, making sure they get some Bacta and shit. Just field dressing, whatever it is. This is a good fucking character. This is just a side character, but I know exactly what he wants to do. This is great. I love him. More of him. I need him in my show. And he even yells at Cyril at some point when he doesn't respond, when he's like almost have like 1,000-yard stare or whatever you call it. He's like, "We need to get out of here, sir." So yeah, it's great. And then like at the end, at the end scenes, we get some cutting back and forth, basically just showing what is happening with the characters. Marv is sitting in her thrashed home, sad that Andor is gone, not knowing if he will ever see him again. Biggs gets rescued and mourns Tim, who they just kind of leave there for now. They tell her, "We need to get out of here," and they just leave him lying there for now, which is kind of weird. Brasso's just having a drink by himself, thinking about stuff. And then we get some back and forth parallels from the past and present of Andor, where he gets picked up by Marv and leaves his tribe behind, riding off into the sunset. And the shots are just all kind of similar. And there's like the possibility of them never seen again. It's really nice visually at the end. I do wonder if Andor is gonna try to check in on Marv at some point, if she's fine, now that he knows that the police is active here. I love the part where Andor said it's Andor time and then Andored all over the place. Ew. But yeah, that's basically that. As I said, we have a pretty solid baseline. We didn't shit ourselves completely. I mean, we don't have anything super spectacular amaze balls, but some good dialogue. That was nice, as I said, and yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It's definitely better than the other things that I've seen in the last couple of weeks. To be fair, I haven't seen Hot D because I think that's like the best thing that's running at the moment. Yeah, considering Time of the Empire will bring the hammer down here and I won't be able to check on anyone here. Yeah, maybe. 3 episodes already have more content than 2 seasons of Mando. Also has more characters than Mando. That's good. But yeah, not terrible. As I said, I pretty much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see what happens next. If we can stay on this kind of base level of writing, I'll be fine. Hot D. Oh, the House of the Dragon. That would be nice. That would be a nice standard to have again, you know? I'm generally shocked Disney's capable of putting out something like this at this point. Yeah, it feels like the people who made Andor were just left alone and just let them do their things, you know? So yeah. Gonna be interesting to see, as Swoper just says, what the follow through of the consequences is gonna be. That definitely should be a thing that's going on. Was there a sentiment going around that the murder of 2 police officers is acceptable because the corpo are lazy or corrupt? There are people saying. There's still people dying, and that should be. I mean, no, it's not good that he killed these people. He could have. He easily could have done this differently. The guy even gave him a solution that wouldn't have needed him to kill anyone else. So yeah. Andor was one of the first Disney shows made, but didn't get released. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Andor should have come out before all the other sludge, as far as I know. Officer is either going to double down on authoritarianism, or because being punished for going by the book, he'll be frustrated by the Empire. Yeah, gonna be interesting to see which way he goes, because right now it could go either way. But yeah, we will see. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Should be fun fleams for sure. But maybe they're still gonna absolutely shit themselves. I don't know. We will see what happens, I guess. Right. Let me have a look see at super chats, and then I'm donezo for today. Also, if you got some questionnaires, go ahead and ask them, and I shall have a look-see. Reload. See Morbius yet? No. All roads leads to the last jabroni. Metal's Forged Morbius. I don't know, man. I don't know. Cyborg Edgerons is good. 10 episodes, 20-ish minutes each. Binge watch them all. Nice. I mean, yeah, I said it. It's probably something I'm going to watch after all the fleams are donezo. That's probably a thing I'm going to do. Was actually okay with them. Also Phase 4, but not by much. Well, I believe it. That was the reason I didn't sleep. We can still sleep. That's still a thing you can do. Do it. Oh, man. Has dreams to sniff. Delicious dreams. Delicious, delicious dreams. Where's my thing? Glad you're doing more YouTubes. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad everyone is enjoying it. Again, 3,000 subs now. Thank you all so much. Also, now there's like 75,000 views on this channel. That's a big ass number. That is a big ass number. It's kind of funny because I'm surrounded by all these big YouTubers, and they all get these crazy numbers, and then I'm here doing my thing, and you always have to kind of take a step back. It's like, you know what? That's still all pretty big numbers. That's all pretty cool for me, and it's a lot of fun, and then I'm happy people have fun too. So yeah, that's the thing. That's what's been going on. Gotta pump those numbers up. Hey, I'm working on it. There's a reason why I've been upping the content here with those streams. So people enjoying it. So there we go. Maybe squeeze a grave of fireflies of blood and blood out forge into this lessen the bad rat feel. How dare you? Also grr metal. Yeah. Anyway, I think that covers that for today. It's been fun. You can go now. Watch EFAP. That should go live anytime now, I would assume. Are they live already? I thought that, because I think there's like a raid thing you can do now on Twitch. It's not live yet, because I wanted to try that out, but I don't know how that works actually. I haven't even seen a raid button anywhere. Because that's like a Twitch thing that they put in. You can rate other people's streams. Add stream marker. Insert ad. No, that's not what I want to do. Share. EFAP trailer already played Metal. I watched that trailer yesterday before every one of you. Because please send it to me. Me. It's going to be an hour late. Oh man, then I could have easily done something else before I started. That's fine. Right. Anyway, you guys go enjoy EFAP. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. I don't know what they're going to do there. It's not going to be She-Hulk or Rings of Power. That's what I know. So, sorry, Sharasign. I'm about to wrap it up. You missed the thing. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the generous super chats and follows and subs and all that stuff. It's still pretty early today. I'm gonna take a break, and you might see me stream here a little bit later when EFAP is already running, playing some video. So, yeah. There we go. Thank you for hanging out. I'll catch you all on the next one.
Goodbye.